In the shadow of war, under sanctions and scrutiny, Iraq sought to develop indigenous missile technology in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. Among these efforts was the Al-Burqan missile, a testament to Iraq's ambition to maintain strategic deterrence after the Gulf War era. But what was Al-Burqan? How did it emerge from the ashes of Iraq's missile program? Scene 2. Historical background, from Scud to Al-Burqan. Visuals of the Iran-Iraq War, Scud-B missiles, and Operation Desert Storm. Narrator. Iraq's missile program began in earnest during the 1980s, heavily relying on imported Soviet Scud-B missiles. These short-range ballistic missiles were modified into variants like Al-Hussein and Al-Abbas, which saw use during the Iran-Iraq War and the Gulf War. However, after the 1991 Gulf War, UN inspections and sanctions severely crippled Iraq's missile capability. Cut to footage of UNSCOM inspectors and destroyed missile facilities. Narrator. Despite international monitoring, Saddam Hussein's regime secretly pursued missile development programs, focusing on systems with ranges within the allowed 150 km limit, and others that exceeded it in defiance. One of the outcomes of these covert efforts was the Al-Burqan missile. Scene 3. Design and technical features. Visual representation of a missile being assembled, overlaid with schematics. Narrator. Al-Burqan, meaning, the volcano, in Arabic, was Iraq's attempt to rebuild its short-range missile arsenal using modified components and indigenous engineering. Believed to be derived from or inspired by the Al-Samoud II missile, which in turn had origins in the Scud and SA-2 surface-to-air missile designs, Al-Burqan was a tactical ballistic missile with the following characteristics. On-screen bullet points. Type. Short-range ballistic missile SRBM. Estimated range. 150 to 200 km. Payload. High explosive warhead estimated 250 to 300 kg. Propulsion. Liquid-fueled, single stage. Guidance. Inertial guidance, sept circular error probable approximately 1 km. Launch platform. Mobile Transporter Erector Launcher TEL. Narrator. The missile was likely fitted with rudimentary guidance systems, enough to strike city-sized targets but not precise military facilities. Its use of liquid fuel made it vulnerable to pre-launch detection and required significant preparation time. Scene 4. Development timeline and secrecy. Montage of satellite images, underground bunkers, and technical engineers. Narrator. Development of Al-Burqan reportedly began in the late 1990s or early 2000s, during Iraq's clandestine post-Gulf War rearmament programs. Due to heavy UN monitoring, the missile was developed in secret laboratories and test ranges, often under the cover of civilian aerospace research. Footage of Iraqi missile parades and archival footage of Saddam Hussein speaking. Narrator. Saddam's leadership viewed Al-Burqan and similar systems as political tools, to demonstrate defiance, boost morale, and create strategic ambiguity. However, with the 2003 US-led invasion of Iraq, many such programs were exposed or destroyed. Scene 5. Operational status and use. Visuals of missile test footage and coalition forces examining missile parts. Narrator. It is unclear whether the Al-Burqan missile was ever fully operational. Some intelligence reports suggested a few test launches before the 2003 war, possibly from test ranges near Al-Taji or Jerf al-Sakar. On-screen animation. Satellite imagery from 2002 shows what analysts believe are pre-launch preparations of a missile system resembling Al-Burqan. Narrator. After the fall of Saddam Hussein, coalition forces uncovered documents and components suggesting the missile had reached prototype or limited pre-deployment stage. However, no confirmed battlefield use of Al-Burqan was ever recorded. Scene 6. Impact and legacy. Visuals of destroyed missile facilities, interviews with arms experts, and modern Iraqi defense forces. Narrator. While Al-Burqan may not have changed the course of Iraqi military history, it symbolized the regime's persistent desire for missile-based deterrence. The missile demonstrated Iraq's capacity to reverse engineer legacy technology and pursue self-sufficiency despite sanctions and isolation. Expert interview clip. Al-Burqan was less about the missile itself and more about the message: Iraq was not willing to be defenseless. Narrator. Today, remnants of Iraq's pre-2003 missile programs serve as historical evidence of a tumultuous era, one marked by ambition, defiance, and the geopolitical chess game of weapons development. Scene 7. Conclusion, a cautionary tale. Soft music and slow-motion visuals of desert missile wreckage and Iraqi cities rebuilding. Narrator. Al-Burqan remains a little-known missile, overshadowed by its predecessors and never tested in war. But its story speaks volumes about the lengths to which nations may go to project power, and the consequences of unchecked militarization. Fade to black. Text on screen. Al-Burqan, the silent volcano of Iraq's missile ambitions. End credits roll. Sources: UNMOVIC and UNSCOM reports. U.S. Department of Defense assessments. Declassified CIA and IAEA documents. Missile Threat Database, CSIS. Jane's Strategic Weapons.